And now our debate moderator, News4Jax anchor Kent Justice, spoke with our political analyst Rick Mullaney about how each of the candidates performed, and here's what he took away from tonight.
Yeah, here on the campus of JU, following our sheriff's debate, Rick Mullaney, how do you think this went? Obviously, we spent an hour and crafted questions that we thought were important to the community, and these candidates needed to answer.
Kent, I thought the candidates did really well. These were some very substantive questions. We talked about violent crime. We talked about race relations. We talked about excessive force. This more than $500 million budget. I thought all five candidates did very well. Some candidates maybe a little behind, attacking a little bit more, got a little bit spirited. Others who are in the lead, maybe playing a little more cautious. But overall, high marks for all five.
One of the things that I noticed were each of the candidates found a moment during this hour-long debate where they really reached out and said, I'm passionate about this topic or that. There were, however, some topics that it didn't seem like the candidates really had an answer to. One of those I'm thinking about, whether it was defund the police and police reform, or maybe even talking about the budget and should it grow.
No great surprise that the candidates were not quite as responsive on some questions. You highlighted one in which there was very little response really on police reform. I thought one of the issue questions was race, when some candidates were maybe a little more candid than others. On the budget, I'm not sure if it was quite as responsive when you asked, would you increase the budget? Do we need more police officers? Some candidates particularly were responsive. Overall, high marks, but there were those moments when they're not quite as responsive to those questions. But each one talked about their experience, their background, and their vision. I thought they did a good job. Sometimes not quite as responsive as we'd like to see.
Yeah, we did this because the local station and the JU Public Policy Institute committed to trying to make sure you, the voters, know who you're voting for. Does a debate like this make an impact in how votes go on August 23rd?
I tend to think that debates in general are possibly overrated sometimes, but I think this was a very important one. The future leadership of the sheriff's office hangs in the balance. This isn't maybe quite a high-profile race. It's obviously a governor's race or a mayor's race. But in Duval County, with consolidated government and a budget of over $500 million and more than 3,000 employees, the stakes are high, and it's hard for them to raise the money. This is the highest-profile event for these candidates. So this debate was important. This election is important, and I hope that this debate served the community well.
Appreciate your analysis. Rick Mullaney, Kent Justice at JU for Channel 4, the local station.